And welcome back to the Heat Press for Profit podcast. We are back with another episode. This is actually episode 52. I'm super excited to be hosting it today with our guest, Dustin Moe from LAT Apparel. I'll give him a chance to introduce himself here in a moment. But I just want to thank you guys for tuning in live with us. So if you guys are joining us either on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever it may be, we appreciate you joining us. And we like to keep this very open and conversational. So feel free to comment as we're discussing today's topic. We love to see where you're joining us from, business names. We love to see familiar names. So definitely keep it fun and interactive with us. We have a really cool topic today where we're actually going to be discussing apparel decoration innovation. So some stuff that we're seeing new, some stuff that's old that's being recreated to look new, and then also a little bit deeper into actually some apparel trends that accompany some of these print trend innovations that we're seeing. So I'm Jenna. Again, this is the Heat Press for Profit podcast, and we are joined here with Dustin Moe today. I'll give him a chance to introduce himself now.
Thank you, Jenna. So yes, I'm Dustin Moe with LAT Apparel. LAT standing for Live and Tell. You're going to see a lot of that happening over the next year, just marketing our brand. But I've been in the industry for 20 plus years. My job with LAT Apparel is handling our distributor relationship. So it's all about relationships in this industry. My role is particularly just to make sure our distributor clientele is happy. So it's an easy
That's
gig.
important.
I think so.
So you're saying the Live and Tell brand. Was it always Live and Tell? Did LAT stand for something else before?
Like way back in the day, it was LATs, and that's because it was a ladies brand.
Okay.
So everyone knows us for rabbit skins. It's probably the bread and butter when it comes to infant toddler category.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have a ladies. This is before my time. We had a ladies spec. And so we were LATs. And then I want to say it's been like 15 years ago, they branded themselves and decided to change LAT to Live and Tell.
Well, I like it. I think that as far as like marketing and branding goes, being able to tell a story is extremely important. I think that that's literally what LAT stands for, Live and Tell. Like
it's all about telling stories in this industry.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a very dynamic industry. There's a lot going on in different areas. And that's really what inspired this topic, because as we're going to events or talking to different customers, we are always seeing different opportunities from different market spaces that customers are serving, or maybe they're trying to branch out and diversify their brand and get into something new. And I feel like all this like intricacy of the industry it needs to be talked about a little bit more.
I couldn't agree more. And I think what makes this industry fun is that we sell to everybody. So there isn't a specific class or category that limits who our industry sells into. I mean, everything from Fortune 500 to small startup folks that want to have their own brand. And it's important for them to understand what we have to offer. So I think what you guys are offering, what we're offering, and having that collaboration is a great thing.
Yeah, the collaboration's awesome. I think whenever we're able to get together as different industry leaders and educate so that everyone knows what all they have at their fingertips to be able to utilize. So yeah, guys, we're going to be talking about some print technologies that have emerged and how we're seeing those trend in the industry, and then talk a little bit more deeply about apparel manufacturing and how that plays a huge role in how some of these print trends come about, right? Because if blanks are getting softer or a lighter weight, or maybe it's the opposite, right? We see some really heavyweight tees these days. We need prints that are going to complement those blank styles. So really excited to talk about that. So to dive right into the first segment, we're going to be discussing some emerging print trends, and one of these is going to be extremely familiar with you all, because I feel like it's all anybody talks about now, and that's direct to film printing.
Yes.
Yeah. So direct to film printing, we just did actually an expo in Phoenix, Arizona. It was the direct to film printing expo. It was actually quite funny because whenever we like signed into like the hotel and everything, they asked what expo we were with, and said the DTF expo. And anyone outside of this industry is like,
That could go a long ways.
what does that mean?
Who? What?
Does that mean the same thing I think it does?
Do you have a pad?
It's pretty funny. It was like just kind of that awkward moment. I was like, it's printing. Don't worry. Yeah, so that was an interesting conversation. But we did the expo, and we saw a lot of different printers out there that are implementing this into their production facility. Okay. But everyone's like, okay, well, what's next, right? With direct to film, is there going to be special effects? Is it going to be dimensional? Like, what's the next thing for direct to film? What are your customers saying about direct to film when you talk to them?
It's funny you say that. I think everyone wants to know like evolution of things, right? People want to know, okay, like you're saying, what's next? What's the new trend? No one wants to see what happened last year. Nonetheless, last month, people are always trying to figure out how can we get, like, what's the latest thing, and how are you able to reinvent the wheel? So I think it's very cool what you guys are doing, because you guys keep adding new technologies and ways of doing DTF. That's a big plus. But we're getting the exact same request when we're talking to people about it. We just came from a seminar, and that's what people are asking with the DTF. It's like, okay, what's the next great thing? And it's like, we're showing you what the coolest current big thing is, but they're already looking at the future. So,
well, yeah. And I will say, and this is a lot like every other industry, everything's fast paced, right? Like, if it's not brand new, we need it. It's like instant gratification almost. I feel like we're just in this like new era where everything needs to happen now and fast, and things need to be new so that we can stay ahead of our competitors, right?
You have to, like, and I think because there's so much competition within this space, like, you have to be able to show what makes you different. My favorite word in the industry is, what's our difference? What's the differentiator that you have, right? So you have to stay not just currently on trend, but you have to think futuristically. How can you offer something that no one else is being able to offer? And that's what helps people. That's what sets people apart.
Absolutely. I think that is a huge takeaway, right? So if anybody is like looking for that one thing to take away, that should be the question you ask yourself every day as a business owner in this industry is, what is our difference? That is huge. I love that you just said that.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what is the difference, right? Why is the direct to film that you may be printing, or maybe the custom transfer that you're offering, different? Is it the quality? Is it how quick you can turn it? There's a lot of different ways that direct to film can positively impact a lot of custom printers' business, especially if they have a heat press department. And we're starting to see that more and more, because we talk with a lot of embroiderers and screen printers where they're doing those jobs day in, day out, and heat printing is now becoming a larger part of those conversations, all because of direct to film. So that has allowed us and a lot of businesses be able to leverage themselves in a different way.
And are you even offering it? Some people might not even be offering it. So the fact that you are being able to do DTF, does that set you apart from the standard, right? And some people don't even know what it means. Like, I'm sure end users might be clueless at that. So if you can highlight some of the reasons why you offer it and the benefits of using direct to film, that just makes things all the better. It's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. I would say one of the biggest, and for those of you that are just joining, we're talking about emerging print technologies and how direct to film has impacted our industry in such a major way. And what's next for direct to film, right? And we're starting to see people mixing different medias with it to show something unique than just your standard direct to film print. And that brings up the question is, okay, well, now that direct to film is able to fulfill those one-off orders, do I need heat transfer vinyl anymore? Has that been completely eliminated? Is that irrelevant now? And to that, I say I disagree. I don't think that heat transfer vinyl doesn't have a place in this industry anymore. I believe that it's always going to be the solution for some of those special effect finishes, right? And as we're talking about like industry insider, like insights from customers, I ask them regularly, like, what is the most popular print finish outside of screen print, direct to film, embroidery? Like, what other finishes are you getting the most requests for? And it's bling, metallic, puff. Puff has been discussed so much recently.
That's
Is
crazy.
that something that you're seeing a lot on your LAT apparel whenever you're talking with your customers?
We actually have some of your vinyl transfers that we use to decorate our samples to show folks, right? We want to show people on our product, not just your standard screen print, but like what are some different techniques that you can use. And when we had that, people were kind of like in shock, like, what is this, right? So again, I feel like it's education to the end user to make sure they know all the offerings that are available, because most people just want standard print and they're thinking of their logo just being basic on a t-shirt. Offering something that's unique and different will help elevate their brand and their marketing and make their logo look that much better.
Absolutely. Unique finishes are what's going to make the wave, right? That's what's going to stop people in their tracks and be like, what is that? Right? Because we see now that direct to film is what it is, and it's a solution for a lot of things. We need something that's still going to stand out among everything else. And that can be in quality, that can be in the color and vibrancy of it. But people still want dimension, bling effects, and like those puff transfers, right? So I actually, prior to this podcast, I reached out to 3 customers that I talked to a lot in the industry. First one was Campus Ink. I shot him a text. I was like, hey, I want you to tell me, like, what is the number one outside of screen print, direct to film offering? Like, what's the number one thing you're getting a request for? And he said patches. Right? Like, they are loving to see patches on fleece, right? So like on the left chest, on the
Yep.
sleeve, whatever it may be, they're doing matching sets. And LAT offers a lot of fleece.
We do. And it's funny you mentioned that. So again, with the shows that just took place in January, a lot of the samples we had in the booth were all decorated samples. And it was cool to see. We had one logo of ours that we created that was screen printed on one of our shirts. And then we had the same logo as a patch transferred onto a fleece item. Mm-hmm. And to see like, again, you talk about dimensions and different ways, same logo, different technique to decorate. And it popped. And it was cool because it showed a different look of how our brand can be presented, right? So to show a screen print t-shirt and then to offer a fleece with the patch, it just stood out. And so I think it's very cool to be like, you don't have to limit yourself with your logo just with the print. You can do so many different things. You just have to know what's available. And to again, I go back to showing the customer, because the end user might not know, right? The end user at the end of the day is just asking for their logo to be on apparel. They don't know the different techniques that are available. So if you show all these different formulas that are out there, I think it just makes people stand out as far as they're offering a product.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. And we have some viewers that are commenting in with some of the different options and finishes that they offer. So Sandra says HTV will always be an option. Some things are just not worth getting a transfer for. I can agree with that. It is a quick turn, especially if you have those customers that are coming to you. They want it same day. We talked about instant gratification, right? This industry is experiencing a lot of that. So those quick turns are going to help with that. And then she also says a metallic, soft metallic, not stretch, puff. She's used a bit, but wants to use it more. So guys, there's a lot of different heat transfer vinyl finishes out there. And one thing I will say is if you are working with direct to film a lot and you want to create a patch effect, you can layer direct to film on some of those dimensional products like soft foam, flock, right? So those are also really great options. We actually showcase that at the Direct to Film Expo because people are asking what can I do different with direct to film, and being able to layer and create those faux patches and not being afraid to mix other medias with it is going to help elevate it that much more. But sometimes it's not just about the finish, right? It's about the location, print location.
Right. Yeah.
So we
Well,
did a
you
collab.
mentioned the flock. So we had that at the show, and
Mhm.
what was cool about it was mixed with screen print. So we had screen print, the LAT, and then we had we had screen printed Live and Tell, and then the flock was the LAT Apparel logo, and it just gave the shirt depth and dimension. And
Mhm.
again, what's cool about having depth and dimensions on decorated product is it gravitates people to it. So when you're
Right.
showing this to, if you have this in a bookstore or in a places that are selling apparel or a boutique, that's where people are going to go towards, because that decoration isn't normal. It's your differentiator, and that's what people are gravitating to, and that's probably going to get the purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I like that you said that that's what people are going to gravitate towards because it's something unique that they're not used to seeing, right?
You have to be
Exactly.
unique, like especially in this day and age. You have to be unique.
Yeah, and Daniel says he is actually layering Ultracolor Max on a leatherette for hats. That is a
Ooh.
brilliant idea, especially for those of you that want to be able to offer those leatherette patches, but may not have a laser engraver to engrave those. Right. So that is a phenomenal idea. I would,
Daniel, show us a picture.
yeah, Daniel, we need more information. I need
Yeah.
to see this. Hopefully, Daniel, you are in the Heat Press for Profit Facebook group. If you can, if you're open to sharing pictures, that would be really cool to see. I know a lot of other or not manufacturers, but printers, what they're doing with their leather patches is either engraving or some are starting to UV print on them.
Ooh,
So that's interesting. All right. Daniel said he's going to drop some in, so I'm excited to see those.
that's what's up,
Um,
Daniel.
and so outside of finish, some other trends that we're seeing, and you can probably relate to this a lot, Dustin, is the actual location of where the print is being done. So maybe instead of a left chest logo, you're popping it on the back shoulder or something like that. Do you see that happening often with
We
your
don't
customers?
just see it, we're asking people to do that.
Mhm.
Because again, we're in the blank wearables industry. So the typical is that front left chest and then a big print on the back. And that's what you see in t-shirts for so long, or just a standard print on the front. To put placement, it's almost like Where's Waldo, right? Like people know it's not going to be a blank t-shirt. So they're trying to figure out like, where is the logo? And if you can put it, it just makes the shirt look different. Like, so
Mhm.
it doesn't look like a standard basic t-shirt when people are wearing it. If you have a logo, you want to stand out. Placement is everything. So I think texture, print, having those options and dimensions to how it looks and then where it's located go hand in hand.
For sure. For sure. All right. So we talked a lot about print finish location. I will say location does matter. And if you guys are kind of limited with your current print technology, uh, consider maybe popping it on the heat press, right? Because you're able to load virtually any area of any garment onto a platen and be able to isolate that print area. So if you're worried about maybe trying to screen print in a unique location, or maybe it's close to a button or a zipper, heat printing offers a lot of solution for that. So keep that stuff in mind as you guys are thinking about unique ways to stand out with somebody's logo. Why does this matter though? Right? Like
Mm.
why do these print finishes matter? Why is this something you guys should be thinking about? You can warrant a higher price point. At the end of the day, it is increasing your bottom line and it's going to help with customer retention. Right. So if I were to print, and what's your standard LAT cost for a shirt?
Case pricing on our 6901 is $399. I mean, it's, and
399.
that's for a high-end combed ring spun, right? It's kind
Mhm.
of the staple of our industry nowadays. The trend, you hit it on the head. There's trend going heavier and more boxier cuts. I think that's what more of a useful trend. But that standard everyday shirt, it's no longer that carded open end G5000 piece. People are wanting to have something that's elevated. So it's funny because now that combed ring spun, which back in the day was a very high price, like, oh my goodness, do I really want to spend that much on a t-shirt, is now becoming the norm.
Right.
So, and people like softness, right? That's a soft shirt. It has a great fit to it. But you still want to decorate it to make that shirt pop and be unique.
Absolutely. And so, can you talk a little bit more about you're discussing a little bit about the cotton,
Yep.
what it used to cost to work with those like softer handed garments. It's now
Sure.
the norm, so it's priced at $3.99. But tell us a little bit about that process. Why was it such a high price point at one point, and now it's becoming the standard, like
It comes
normal
down to
price point
volume,
for
right? I
everything?
think more people are using combed ring spun. So the difference between the two, COE, carded open end, is going to be that scratchy, rough cotton. There's a low price point because the process isn't as intense, right? You're
Okay.
getting the shirt, you're getting the fabric roll. You're not doing much to the fabric roll. You're dyeing it, you're cutting and sewing it, then you're selling it. With combed ring spun, you're going through that combed ring process, which is basically, it's just what it says. It's a combed ring process to remove the impurities. And then it goes through this ring spun process to be able to make it a soft hand. So you're adding more steps to the manufacturing of the product, which is going to, I mean, anytime you add something to something, there's going to be a higher price point to it. Now, when I was starting in this industry, a carded open end t-shirt, I might be dating myself here, but you're talking 99 cents for a white t-shirt. I'm sure there are people on this podcast watching that remember those days, right? There were customers we had that were basically saying, we can give you a printed t-shirt for $3. That's insane to think about, but that's how it was. And ring spun was such a higher price point. So you really had to kind of sell why someone would want a softer hand t-shirt, but want to spend that much more money. And I think it comes down to retention and people wanting to wear the product. Carded open end t-shirts, they serve a purpose. They're great giveaway shirts. They're great for just quick marketing. That combed ring spun t-shirt, or the softer the hand of the shirt, becomes someone's favorite shirt. So it comes down to branding and marketing. If there's a logo of your customers on a shirt and they're going to spend any dollar for that, it's about having visibility, brand visibility. So why not give them a shirt that has a softer hand to it, where that shirt becomes someone's favorite shirt, no matter what prints on it? They're going to wear it more. The end user is going to be satisfied because it means they're getting more marketing value out of it. And so again, it comes down to being a win-win.
I love it. I think you described that perfectly. And I love that it becomes the favorite shirt that that's what they want to wear, right? And we talk a lot about creating those top shelf, top drawer, product that everybody wants to grab. That's their favorite thing to wear. It becomes a staple of their, wardrobe, right?
Yep.
So I think being able to source the right garment is step one. And you said it right. Like there's going to be different price points and you're going to get what you're paying for, but that's going to open up, opportunity for you to go to your client and say, good, better, best, right? I can give
Yes.
you this that could be in a very low price point, but here's what you're getting if you pay like the next level. And here's what I can do, my best option. So if you guys aren't doing that good, better, best strategy with your clients, this is a great, you're
It's
taking notes. This
especially
is a
on
good
the,
one to walk
yeah,
away
on the apparel side, good, better, best is perfect. But then also asking your customer, what do they want out of this t-shirt?
with.
Like, do they want this t-shirt? Like, are they in hopes that this shirt is going to tell a story, live and tell? Just wanted to throw it out there. But is it like, do they want people to have this be their shirt, like their go-to shirt that they're going to wear out? That it doesn't matter, again, what's decorated on it. They're going to want to wear their shirt because they love how it fits and how it feels. Or are you just trying to get it out to the masses and they don't care if they wear it one time and throw it away? Like
Yeah,
that tells a lot of the
that's
direction
important.
you can go. Because if someone's saying, no, we want people to want to wear this shirt, but show me what's good, you can bring them into, no, we need to get into the better best category because of what you're trying to get out of this product. So it's important to ask the questions.
Yeah. And, if don't be afraid to ask the questions either,
Mm-mm.
right? You want to know your client, you want to know who you're working with. That's going to create a bond and a relationship with them anyway. They're going to want to come work with you if you're asking those questions as well. So there's a lot to be said about not being afraid to ask the questions, right?
Yep.
All right. So we've worked with LAT a good bit. We've done some collaboration, some live activation printing. And we love working with you guys because you guys are offering silhouettes that are on trend and they are impacting the way we are able as printers to represent our brand and products we can offer. Can you talk a little bit about like your most popular styles and silhouettes and why are they
Sure.
so popular?
So LAT, we put so much emphasis on fit. I think a lot of people that are watching this podcast that we met during the trade shows, when we ask about what are the biggest issues you have when it comes to apparel and apparel buying, it's fit, because there's a lot of brands out there where they have one particular fit and you're trying to play the guessing game on what size you or category you fall into. With LAT, we have a fit for all. So we're the few brands that offer 4 fits for ladies, going all the way from that typical junior cut up to curvy. And then on our retail spec for unisex, we call it true. So what's great about that is if I wear a large in LAT apparel, I'm a large across the entire catalog, no matter the fabrication, no matter if it's a fleece option, I'm a large. So I'm not playing the guessing game on what size I should be.
That's
That's
huge.
it's a big
That is
deal.
so important.
And what
I
we
can't
find
tell you
happen,
as a female, and I'm
yes.
sure there's a lot of others that feel this way. It is so hard to find consistency in sizes.
And I think that's we talk about our differentiator. That's what sets us apart. We want to have people we pay attention to that. So you're comfortable wearing the shirt. And for the customers out there, what's happening is they're probably buying the same style year in, year out. And when you ask them
Mhm.
about sales and sales growth, they probably don't have it, or they're declining with those customers because you're only offering one style because that's all they're comfortable with. We love LAT because you can offer them so many more options. So instead of just buying that standard combed ring spun t-shirt, if they want to get into fleece or get into long sleeve, they have the confidence knowing I can get the same size, branch out to new styles, and now you're being able to get sales growth. So to answer your question, though, some new styles we came out with, we printed on at ISS and PPI your guys' transfers on our vintage wash tee. Hands down, if you guys
My
haven't seen
favorite
it,
t-shirt right now.
people just need to touch and feel it. That's the kind
Mhm.
of industry that we're in. And so it's a 5248. It's poly rich, so it's a poly cotton blend. I promise you, you won't feel a softer t-shirt in the entire industry than this vintage wash shirt. 6902 is a unisex style. 3502, we talk about silhouettes and kind of mixing it up. We didn't just slim it and put a cap sleeve on it and said this is the ladies cut. We actually put some flair and fashion to it. So it has a dolman sleeve. There's features on this shirt. It drapes well. And you were there, people that were getting it as a sample. I was challenging people, go change and come back and people were going to the restroom, changing into their shirts, our shirts, and they love the fit, they love the feel.
I was actually shocked at whenever I stopped by the booth to see just how things were going, right? So for those of you that weren't at Impressions Long Beach, you guys should definitely check it out. We have a wrap up video of how it went on the Stalls TV YouTube channel, but you saw a segment in there where we were in the LAT booth, and Duds by Dudes was actually manning our Hotronics autoclam, printing direct to film heat transfers on the vintage wash. And for an industry that is all about t-shirts, I thought it was crazy how people were going nuts over this t-shirt, right? Because we've all had a lot of t-shirts. Like
More
we
than I
go to
think.
these shows, everybody has a t-shirt. It was this specific shirt that people were like going crazy over there. Like, I need my size, I need this color, we need that. Like they saw it and it wasn't a sample they wanted to just take home so that they could show their customer, hey, do you like this? They wanted it to wear. And I loved that because you don't see that a lot.
Because especially with like a sample, it was funny. We did the staffing shirt at one of the shows, and they
Mhm.
didn't know where they got the shirt. I knew it was our shirt. So I saw a crew, and I go, "How do you guys like that shirt?" And had no clue it was my shirt that they were wearing, and they were like, "This is my favorite T-shirt. This, I can't believe this is the shirt they gave us. Like this is probably the softest T-shirt I've ever had." And it was just comical to me because it was like he was telling me what I wanted to hear,
Mhm.
or he was talking to me like I'm the one that gave him that shirt, but I was a complete stranger, and he was raving about the shirt. And I've been doing this a long time. It's not too often you can put out there, because with the combed ring spun, yeah, you can spin it a little bit to say ours is different because of this, 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 and this. But if you do the taste test, they're all good shirts and they all have a
Mhm.
soft hand to it. It really comes down to like what you're comfortable buying. But this vintage wash t-shirt is the one I'm telling people, just go out and like do the taste test. I had people go to other booths, say, show me your softest and your most premium t-shirt and do a side by side with our vintage wash. Hands down, it would win. So we're excited about it.
That's a crazy statement in this industry too. So
Yeah.
for you guys to confidently be able to say we have the softest one, that's incredible. And there is an amazing comment here from Aaron that speaks directly to, size inclusivity and, just having the same size across all the cuts. Thank you, Aaron, for sharing this because this is
Yeah.
important and it's important for a lot of demographics that we're speaking to, no matter what market, right?
Mhm.
This is such an important thing. So thank you for sharing, Aaron. It's incredible. And yeah, if you guys are looking for that solution, I stand by LAT. I've keep pressed a lot of their stuff from rabbit skins all the way to their new vintage wash tee. I will say, whenever I saw the vintage wash for the first time in New Orleans last year, because
Mm.
it was like a sneak peek of what you
It
had
was.
coming. I was
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, did they launch it? Did they launch it? And finally, you did. I was so excited. And that was how long ago?
That was a year ago almost. No, like 8 months ago, give or take.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, this needs to come out. We're
Sneak
waiting,
peek.
right?
And
Um,
I'm not gonna share what we have coming out. We're doing a meeting next month with the team. Like 2025 is already set up and ready to go.
I think
Like
you should tell me.
we're
So,
coming out. You know what? Because it's you, I will do this. So 2025. So the vintage wash tee by far is the softest hand I've ever felt in our industry. We're bringing out a shirt that I think is even better than vintage wash. And so
really?
to me, it's crazy. LAT Apparel being we're most known for rabbit skins. That's like every time people say LAT, they still sometimes question what it stands for. And then when we say rabbit skins, they're like, oh, because we had the staple in that category.
Yeah,
But we're coming out
absolutely.
with a bamboo viscose that is, and I'm like, when it comes to t-shirts and when it comes to fabrication, there's not a person pickier than me. And as much as I love vintage wash, and hands down, soft hand. The colors for myself personally, that wash color, I love solid colors. So will I wear a vintage wash black or a vintage wash coyote brown? 100% because of the way it feels. But my personal preference, I like solid colors. I like a solid black.
Mhm.
I like a solid white. This bamboo is going to compete with vintage wash, but it's going to come out with solid colors. So for one brand, LAT Apparel, to be able to offer, we say good, better, best, two best shirts with different fabrication and giving you options whether you want to go with that vintage look or you want to go with the solid and have it be just elevated premium, you
Mhm.
get that under one brand. And the beauty of it, because we pay so much attention to fit, you can go from a vintage wash to a bamboo, not playing the guessing game and what size you are. So you're getting those options. But this bamboo viscose, I'm telling you guys right now, just wait. Like
I love seeing the
I'm
excitement
probably
from
gonna
you
get in
guys.
trouble for even saying what I'm saying
All
but
right, guys, it's a secret.
I'm telling you guys. And so when you see us at the shows, we're gonna roll it out. Inventories like coming in Q3, give or take, but we're gonna start showing it to folks beginning of Q2. I'm letting you guys like this is going to be it's big news, and I'm excited for it.
That's
So
exciting. I cannot wait to see it. Hopefully, I can get a sneak peek of it soon.
I think we can make that happen.
I want to definitely test bamboo because I've been seeing bamboo as a trend, and it is so soft.
Yes.
There is one brand in particular. They attend ASI and PPAI as vendors, and they always have bamboo apparel, blankets, pillowcases, sheets. I'm just like, I'm always in there just feeling everything. And I just think it's amazing. And I'm like, I need to test how our heat transfers would actually work on this without completely scorching it.
Right.
So that's what's next for LAT install.
Okay.
Just testing that bamboo with direct to film.
Emails going out right now saying we got to get Jenna samples.
Nice. Love it.
Deal.
All right, let's do it. All right. Well, we have hit our time here. We're a little bit over, but we appreciate those of you that stuck on with us and had a conversation with Dustin and I. Love the comments. Sandra says that she is pinky swearing. So pinkies up. We're swearing.
Oh, I love that.
We are going to keep that secret for you, Dustin.
Love the interaction.
But I do have to ask you because when I did my podcast with you,
yes,
in January,
uh-oh,
you had a great dad joke.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm gonna ask you to give us a dad joke to sign us off.
Okay, I gotta make sure this is
you got one?
Professional.
Don't be inappropriate.
I will not be inappropriate. I heard this one last night.
Okay.
What do you call a spider with 10 eyes?
I have no idea. All right, before I choke, I'm going to sign us off. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll be back with you next Friday. Dustin, you have been awesome. Hope to see you guys at an upcoming event. What's up next? We have ASI Fort Worth, Impressions Atlantic City. Stay tuned and check us out if you guys are attending. See you next time.
Guys. Thanks, Jenna. Take care.